So somebody brought this up to me in the comments, saying that we should do a tier list of Critical Role characters from campaign 1 to 3. So since we have campaign 4 now, I think it is a good time to just do a little tier list and give my opinions on the characters from our main characters from campaigns 1 through 3. And yeah, a fun little tier list making. So I'm not gonna do Tiberius. He doesn't count. Not being put on the list. But Taryon Darrington does count. And Terry, I'm gonna give him an A tier. He definitely, starts off bad, not only because of the whole Scanlan, Bar's Lament thing. But obviously he's the noble rich kid, cocky attitude type thing. And he becomes more endearing the more the series goes on. And he is a great character. But he still has that little noble-ish, which is it's good for the character. And I think he's a solid A tier. Caduceus Clay. I will give Caduceus S or A. Because he is a fantastic character. And he's kind of... I'll give him an S tier. Because he's definitely he's very... I think he's what the group needed. Is a more grounded character. To help this, crazy group. Yeah, I think he's all around, how Taliesin likes to do one-liners. So I think this is a character that really showed a different side than what Percy showed. And he's all around just a very supportive character, and he's a cleric who does cleric things. So yeah, I'll give him S tier. Now, most of these characters are going to be A to S. It's going to be rare that we have one lower than that, I think. So I'm going to try to compare these characters to themselves. Because you can't just give them all S tiers because I like them all. So I'm going to try to tier them to themselves. Which then, with Fjord, I will give Fjord an A tier. I think. His story is very unique. It's a very good story, and him being a pirate captain and all that. He is a very good character. I'm putting him above Taryon. But yeah, there's also not blandness to him, but he doesn't capture my attention as much as some other characters do. But he's still a fantastic character. Vex'ahlia. Vox Machina is still my favorite campaign. So it's going to be hard to put any of these characters low. But I think I'm going to go... I really like him. Because, yeah, he got a little, sad boy at the end. But, he was one to, crack jokes, and he's a fast rogue. And I like high dex characters when I just play normally. I think he's all around a good character. And he's, early on, he was kind of Spider-Man-esque when it comes to having fun, cutting quips, but also then being serious when he needs to be. I think he's a really good character. Scanlan, fantastic character. But he is the funny, Sam, with how he plays Scanlan, he's super funny, and he does have those serious moments. But I feel like there might be too many moments of him being, that's the whole point of the Bard's Lament, right? Like, you don't give a shit about me. You don't even know my mom's name. You don't know my backstory. That was the whole thing, right? But I feel like he is still very much plays as a joke. Even when you find him, he's the meat man, sex joke, which funny, very funny. But it's not a character you take as seriously. So, but he, again, fantastic character playing it but he's very comic relief more so than anything else. He's a very 3D character. I'm not saying he's not, but he's definitely a comic relief character on top of that. And while I love it, looking at compilations of Sam through campaign 1, I have a grand old time. But I just like the stories of the other characters more. Caleb is going to be a little bit lower on my list with a B. Caleb is, again, all these characters are good. I'm not saying they're not. Don't crucify me. But Caleb is kind of, talk about my Liam video before. Caleb is kind of that character. He is the sad boy character, right? Opposed to all of his other Liam's characters that are very different in personalities. This is definitely the most depressing character. So while like Scanlan is so much comedy relief, Caleb is very trauma. He's the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to these archetypes of characters, right? And yeah, so Caleb, great story. And he's very creative with how he uses his spells and stuff like that. I feel like there might be a little too much of that, but it's still fun, it's still creative, and I do like how he has a theme with the cats and stuff. I do like all that stuff. But there's something about there's something about the trauma that unbalances his character for me. I understand that's the point of the character, and they do it really well. But when I'm trying to compare it to other characters that I like in the series, this one falls slightly flat for me. Pike. Honestly, out of the, I feel like this is the one Vox Machina character that is lower on my list. I'm gonna put her in B as well. She's a good companion to Grog. She's a good healer. She has some good moments. She is the very motherly figure of the group. And she, has a lot of good moments. But she is just kind of a standard cleric. And I don't really, I know she had, the whole inner battle with Saren Ray. And that whole thing, right? And I think the anime, Legends of Vox Machina definitely made it more grandiose, I guess. They definitely made Pike a better character in that, I'm going to say. And I know it's not, not a fault of the character itself with Ashley not being there because of her recording schedules. But I don't think Pike had a whole lot of time to grow, So, I'm going to put her at B. Jester. She is she's the most adorable character. She is so fucking cute. How Laura plays her is so fucking cute. And that alone is gonna make it high for me. I'm gonna put her next to Fjord. Not for obvious reasons, but also a lot of people say this is their favorite character, right? Top notch, 100% character. But for me, I think the whole like what I think the whole Traveler being a giant dick joke thing wore on me pretty quickly. And it got to the point where I'm like, okay. You know, so I wasn't a fan of that, but she has some fantastic moments. She's a great character. She's fun all around. Just too many dick jokes for me, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I think she leans too much on the, you know, kind of like Scanlan for me, like a lot of joke, and there's tender moments with her too. But while I love Jester because she's super cute, I just don't have like a deep connection with her either. But still a character. Nott the Brave. I'm gonna go S tier with Nott. Very, very unique story. Very cool concept for a story. She's not just a goblin; it's a transformed goblin because of a curse. You know, right off the bat with heavy hitter, but it's also a good combo of like comedy and tragedy. I think it's a very well balanced character. And she has her own issues, but she's also fun. It's I just like her character a lot, and like I know she's supposed to be an ugly goblin, but a lot of animations make her cute. Like she's like cute scary, you know. Because hey, she's definitely not like portrayed as ugly, even though she is a goblin. Like it kind of is, but I don't know. Animations make her feel not as ugly. But yeah, no, all around great character. Mollymauk or Kingsley, I guess 2-in-1 deal here. I know we didn't really have a whole lot of time with him. I'm gonna put him. I'm gonna put him B tier. Like he was a cool character. He was a fun character. We didn't really have a whole lot of time with him, and then I like Kingsley less than Mollymauk, for sure. I think Taliesin just, I don't know, wasn't a fan of how it was played. But I mean, still overall, I don't really have a whole lot to say about him because we don't really have a too much time with him. He was a very eccentric type character. But that's as much as I can say about him. Like he didn't really permeate my brain, you know, outside of the scene, you know. Vex'ahlia, fantastic character, putting her right next to her brother. Again, I love high dex characters when it comes to mechanically. And Laura did the sexy character fantastically. The voice that she uses and just like how she acts. Good overall, and connected to the same story as Vex'ahlia is. So it's a very strong story, but it's still very like can have fun and have the cocky quips, but also very serious when they need to be. Like very well-rounded character. And honestly, I think she ends up being a little bit of a better character at the end than Vax is. They're basically tied for me though, you know. So this could be wherever. Yeah, great character. Keyleth. Now, Keyleth as a character and how Marisha played her at the start compared to how she played her at the finish. This is kind of like a weird area because I do really like Keyleth as a character. I mean, hot redhead druid, come on. But also, like, she is very like kind of she is a shy but powerful person, and I think her overall story is a really good one. And being connected to Vax actually heightens her story, I think, for sure. Even if Marisha didn't have a full grasp of the game at the start, and people definitely didn't like that, and like how she was figuring out how to roleplay the character and use the mechanics and all that. But in general, like I think she was still a very strong character. I'm gonna give her, put it at a high A. I think. Grog, my boy Grog. Honestly, like I talk about deeper characters. I do like deep characters, but Grog honestly is how you make a simple character be effective. He has a strong story, and he definitely doesn't even want to encounter it. Not only because of how Travis is, but with how Travis was, with deep stories, but also just like Grog is like, okay, I can just be with my friends. Like he is a strong, brutal character, but he's also a big teddy bear. And he, like whenever he has those soft moments, like he is again simplicity done so well. You don't need to have a complex character to have a good character. He is very straightforward. He knows what he wants, and even though he can and will brutally kill somebody if he needs to, but he is also he's a loyal friend. And some of the strongest moments in the original campaign 1 is a one-liner from Grog. Like going back to Bar's Lament here, when just like the simple like, I'm sorry, I never asked about your mom. Like just that alone, just like this big teddy bear, but also strong guy, just being like so like empathetic to the situation, and with that one line, you're like, Grog, like that's like on top, like outside of Scanlan's like just spill of his emotions, that moment hit so hard in that scene. So like a man of few words, and then also again like, a good balance of comedy. Again, he's a simple character done right for sure. I love Grog. Fearne. Fearne is an interesting case, for sure. She is a fun character. She doesn't have, like, outside of her parents being gone for her whole life and that being part of the story, I don't really know too much about her outside of, like, her nan. But she is still a fun character, overall. And her character definitely more happened, like, it's more about how she reacts to the world more than what her backstory offers to the world. I think I'm going to give her a low A. I really like her, and she is fun. Ashley plays her in such a fun way. But I never really got fully connected to her backstory in that way. But again, I do enjoy the character a lot. Just like watching her on screen and how Ashley plays her. She is a fun character. And she still is a powerful character, and she still has some serious moments that are connected to the story. I feel like I might put her at high B, but only because I feel like her story got fumbled a little bit. And especially with her, like, you know, obviously the main root of Spawn being Imogen, I feel like she was also like, it was also been like, oh, you're also root of Spawn, but not as important. And outside of her dad being part of the whole situation, there wasn't a whole lot happening either with her. I felt like she was kind of thrown to the wayside outside of, you know, the stone, like getting the crystal or whatever. Yeah, I think high B works with her. Percival, Don Musil, Frankenstein, whatever. Percy DeRollo. He's definitely my favorite Taliesin character. 100% my favorite Taliesin character. This is definitely the type of character that Taliesin likes to lean on. Like, this is his archetype. is the cocky noble type, but I feel like Percy was also really pulled back by his trauma and pulled back by, like, yeah, he's a noble, but his entire home is currently controlled, and he's suffering right now through that. But he still kind of has like that bit of poshness to him. But he's an inventor, and his one-liners are so fucking good. It's, oh my god, like the whole honestly, like most of the one-liners with the his main arc, like the Delilah arc, the Braidwood. There we go. I got it. I got there. So good. Like the whole today's your lucky day because you're on the bottom of my list. Like, holy shit, like those one-liners hit hard. I honestly think, I know he's tried to capture that success in future characters, but I don't think any of his other characters work as well as Percy does. Percy is definitely 100% my favorite character of Talison's. He's brutal, but he's nice when he needs to be. And his one, like his losing control in his darkest moments, but then, being saved by his friends essentially, and then still being able to reclaim his name. It's so good. Overall, such a good character. FCG, my boy, FCG, he's a great character all around, and he had so much connection to the world that we didn't get to see, and I feel like that's lost potential. That's not Sam's fault. Sam kind of pulled the trigger on his character before we could get into the real meat of it, and there was a lot of meat to it. Yeah, he was an overall great character, great combo. A character that needed, should be a very very uplifting character that had a lot of trauma that he was pushed away, I'm gonna give him a, probably here for me. Great character all around. Dorian Stormian. Also another fantastic character. I didn't really get fully connected with his backstory as much as the others because obviously he wasn't there as long. But I'm still gonna throw him into the A tier. He's still a great character. Robbie plays him great. He's the reason why. Robbie is now part of C4. Everybody wanted him back. If there's anybody who was gonna come back, even without this West March style of gameplay, everybody was like, give me Robbie. Yeah, he played Dorian so well, and he overall a great character for sure. Now, his story kind of got, played with in a way that I did not enjoy, by a specific person that I won't drop her name of, but overall, great character. Imogen. Cute southern girl that likes horses, pink hair, very big, main character-esque stuff, with the rudest born and all that. I liked her character, and I liked how her story unfolded. I'm gonna give her a high B. Because I feel like her backstory wasn't really yes, the whole mind reading thing, right? That's a big part of her character, and that's her mom was a very big part of the story. Yeah, you know what? Thinking about her story a little bit more, I'm gonna give her a low A instead. Actually, now that I think about it, because yeah, it was powerful stuff. There were some powerful stuff in there, even if high A or high B. It's really a really on the edge of A and B, right? There's a lot to like about her story and how connected to the Ruby this stuff she is, but on top of that, like I don't know, she doesn't really offer a crazy amount on top of that compared to the other characters on this list. Bertrand, he's just Bertrand's just kind of an old man. He's just kind of there. I feel like he didn't really make an impression on me, even though his name is the entire basis of Bell's Hells. I mean, he was a fine character. He more so has NPC energy, more so than a full-fledged character, which he kind of was meant to be. Yeah, he's a very okay character. Yasha. Yasha wasn't, like, I didn't really care for Yasha a whole lot. I'm gonna be honest. I know, again, like, I don't know. Ashley wasn't there for a lot of it, which doesn't help Yasha's case at all. But I just felt like she was kind of a bland character. I don't actually remember her backstory, like, hardly at all. She didn't really make an impact on me, personally. I know there's definitely people who really know more about Critical Role than I do, that will be like, oh, well, no, she's an interesting character because this and this and this. But she did not make an impression on me, personally. I mean, she's a fine character. She's just kind of a... Like, I think she got better later on when she started being connected with Bo. But I think her character works better because of Bo. When you take out that aspect, she's just kind of there. Yeah, no, she just didn't make a big impact on me. Laudna. I'm going to give Laudna I like her character a lot. I'm going to put her here on A. I really like her character a lot. Being connected to the Sun Tree from Campaign 1, being, one of the women on there is crazy. And then being connected to Delilah in that way, being undead because of that, and still being able to find love through Imogen, which was crazy. And then, spoiler alert for Campaign 3, when she dies and comes back, I think Ashley made the right decision to save Orym in that scenario and let Laudna die, because I think that whole side story with being able to resurrect Laudna worked way better. Needing to go to Whitestone, meeting Pike, and then having a discussion with Percy, and then having the fight within her head, and then the full circle moment when she comes back, the whole fun, scary thing with the kids. Like, that story, I think, was, like, one of the best moments, like, that best arcs in Campaign 3, or in general. Like, that really made me, like, yeah, this character is a fantastic character. Very, again, big, full circle moment. And even though she regressed later on, because it still was interesting, even if you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you being this way? It makes sense. When she did regress a little bit. And the imagery was insane. Like, Marisha did such a good job with her, I think. Yeah, and again, yeah, she was definitely the right person to die in that scenario, because if they're gonna do a resurrection spell and all the stuff that they had to do to get to it, it was good. It was some good stuff. And obviously, she came back, by the way, Ashton. I'm not a fan of Ashton. I don't know if I should put him on low C or high D. I guess I'm gonna put him on the C. Taliesin Taliesin had an idea for a character, and I felt like the characterization was just kind of wrong. Ashton was supposed to be a very, was embodied punk, but instead he just was pissed off all the time, and he was just a dick. And also the moment with him and Fearne with the crystal, and then him trying to have both of the stones, and I keep on calling it, I don't know, crystal, stone, whatever, beacons. Him trying to have both, and then that being a decision. Overall, like the only great thing about the characters was that he was connected to FCG and that their relationship together. I think the character fell apart after FCG died. Overall, I wanted to like the character, but and then him trying to be secretive with how the character worked really bugged the shit out of me. Like, Taliesin really wanted to surprise us with all the shit that could happen, but it was, I don't know, it wasn't great. Just being very secretive, not saying anything about what's gonna happen, and always going back to this is gonna be weird. I don't know. I wasn't a fan of Ashton. Orym is a very nice guy. He is a nice guy. I'm gonna put him right next to Fearne. Orym has a loving family, but still has kind of a dark backstory, but not too crazy. He's a very support character. He's there for everybody. He's just a nice guy. I'm gonna actually put him here. I think he's a nice guy. I like him. I like Orym. Not my favorite Liam character, but I like him. I think a very middle spot, and not saying being an average character is bad. I have plenty of characters that are just average that I would not put on an S tier for my own list of how much I like my own characters. He is still entertaining. He was still good to watch, and he was just kind of there. I think he does what he did. Liam set out to make a very average character, and he did a really good job with it. He was he's just there for his friends, and he's support. He's there. Beauregard. I'm gonna put Beauregard here. I think the juxtaposition between her and Keyleth is definitely kind of whiplash, and I put it in a cool way. She has a good backstory. Her character is kind of a dick, but also loving at the same way. She has a hard she's one of those characters with a hard shell, but a soft center, and she has a good backstory and all that. I think she's all around a fun character. She's, when it comes to when Jester is Jester is cute, and when you're talking about women characters being attracted to them, Jester's very cute. Vex is very sexy. I think Beau has a different kind of sexy with her, like muscle mommy. There we go. That's where Beau is. But yeah. So overall, he's a very good character all around. Beau. And last but not least, Chetney. I fucking hate. No, just kidding. Chetney's a good time. He has some of the best comedy moments in all of Campaign 3, or just in Critical Role. He's definitely somebody you feel for in his own way. His story is very much based, it's from a Christmas one-shot that he just slightly renamed, but it's still basically Santa's Helper. but he's just such a fun character. And with the whole lycanthrope thing, being part of it, like I wish we explored that more. But the last third of the series, we got kind of swapped up to in the main story that we couldn't really have breathing room for everybody else. I still think he's a very good character. And he does have a decently strong backstory. And I'm gonna put him above. I'm gonna put him here. I like him. I very much enjoy him. And just to pad out, just so the image is there, he could be there. Fuck him. Yeah. So there's the tier list. Again, these tiers are kind of based off more so compared. I'm comparing them to themselves. Comparing the two, like, where would I put them in relations to other characters that I like. Honestly, like, because I didn't want this whole list to just be S, A's, and maybe 2 B's. I wanted it to be more diverse, so I'm comparing them to themselves. And I think this is a solid list, but obviously everybody has their own opinions. Like, I know there are a few people in the community that would put, like, Keyleth at C, and then, like, Caleb at S, Like, I know, like, there are opinions that are that strong about these characters that I definitely did not put where they would want me to put them, for sure. But this is my opinion on these characters. So, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, subscribe. If you want to see even more, check out the links down below. And until next time, bye.